Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic, and happy birthday Blobs, one of our favourite constructors who has contributed no fewer than 3 of our Patreon rewards this year. Thank you so much, Blobs. You are unique indeed. This puzzle is called Oblique and Unique. I guess Blobs is both of those things, but absolutely a brilliant setter, and we're so pleased to have featured him with the in the Patreon rewards, and of course to do regular puzzles by him on the channel, which will include today if this goes okay. So I'm really looking forward to tackling that. Don't forget, we are streaming occasionally. We were in the Blue Prince home yesterday. Hope you got a chance to see it. We've got a new reward coming up. It won't be by Blobs, but it will be good, and that's coming up on the 1st of July. We've also got plenty of things going on. We've got all of our apps which feature line Sudoku, and of course the latest Fog of War Sudoku, and also the Sudoku Worms of James Sinclair and Marty Sears, and those are available on the links under the video along with SVEN'S SUDOKU PAD. But the first link is to this puzzle. I haven't even read the rules yet, so I'll be finding out what to do in real time live today. Let's get cracking. It says normal Sudoku, no, not let's get cracking, let's get doing the rules. Normal Sudoku rules apply, 1 to 9 in every row, every column, and every 3 by 3 box. Digits along lines do not repeat and must sum to the indicated value. Well, it's a bit like Funfzane by Eric Bader the other day. Many of them are 15. I believe that is not Blobs' age. It is one more than a multiple of 15. I'll give you another clue later. Each line contains a unique collection of digits. So despite there being all these 15 lines, and I see that the lengths have all been coloured, so a grey 15 line is 3 cells long. Never is that 3 cells the same collection of digits. Interesting. Also, digits in cages do not repeat. I suspect these cages are both 9 cells big. Yes, that's right. Okay, give it a try. I'm going to start now. Let's get cracking. So let's start with the 15. One of those is 6, 9, and the other is 7, 8, because we can't have the same pairs. We've got 4 of the 11s, so that's going to use all the Sudoku digits except 1 in these sort of light green cells. 15 in 5 digits, which don't include a repeat. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 3 is a 1, 2 pair. The 16 is a 9, 7 pair. Oh my goodness, this is bonkers, this puzzle. The 8s, yes, there are 3 ways of making 8, and they are 1, 7, 2, 6, and 3, 5. I could pencil mark those, I'm very tempted to. Right, how are we going to find the unique cages? I mean, there are 8 grey 15 cages. So I'm just going to use this area as a little aide-memoire to work out that I'm sure there are going to be 8 different ways of making up the total. So 1 with 5, 9, 1 with 6, 8, 2 as the lowest digit with 4, 9 or 5, 8 or 6, 7. 3 as the lowest digit would go with either 5, 7 or 4, 8. And 4 as the lowest digit would go with 5, 6. So these are our possible fills for the 15 cage. Sorry, for the 15 cage, for the grey 15 lines. Oh, look. Right, I'm just going to leave that aide-memoire there while I highlight. I don't know, boxes 1, 5 and 9, is this interesting to do? We'll see in a moment maybe. Now, I can highlight those in blue, and those are 3 collections of the digits 1 to 9, because they must be. Because that's the rules. If I was to highlight all the grey cells, oh, that's confusing me. Aren't all these grey cells confined within one cage? This isn't making sense to me. Hang on, what the heck? Yes, they are. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought that was somehow in the cage as well, and I wasn't understanding it. Okay, those are 3 of the... Yes. Okay. I was going to compare all the grey cells with the blue shading that I did, which was 3 sets of the digits 1 to 9. Now, what we've got here in the 8 sets, how many of the sets of the digits 1 to 9 do we have? That's 1 set. 4, 5, 6, no, 2, 4, 9. That's another set. And then we've got 2, 4, 6, 8 and 2 5s left over. We've got 2 sets of the digits 1 to 9 plus the even digits again. Right, so if we now delete all the overlap cells, I'm going to try this, even though I don't think it's necessarily the right thing to do. I'm going to delete the colour out of those cells. And we're left with the differences, which in the cages, in the boxes that don't have cage cells are well, there are 4 5s in this group of cells. So the lines have 4 5s on. Now only 3 of those can be in the boxes. No, I don't think the boxes is the way to do it. So I think the way to do it is to do what I started to do next. If these 3 have to be different sets of digits, they might, for instance, be 1, 5, 9, 3, 4, 8 and 2, 6, 7. And these 3, because they're in the same cage, they have to be a different set of digits as well. They might be 1, 6, 8, 2, 4, 9 and 3, 5, 7. That's going to leave digits over of 2, 5, 8 and 4, 5, 6. Now, interestingly, 4, 5, 6 is always going to be one of the leftovers, because you could never combine that with any of these other ones in a group that could go in a cage in a group of 9 digits, because every one of these other ones has a 4, 5 or 6 in. Is that true for 2, 5, 8 as well? Does every one of these cells, of these combos, have a 2, 5 or 8 in? Yes. So the leftover combos are 4, 5, 6 and 2, 5, 8. That is what we're going to find on these 2 grey non-caged grey lines. And the digits, this is now a septuple in the central box of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. And that means the other 2 digits in the central box are 7 and 9, definitely. Now I've got a 7-9 pair here. I mean, this is weird. Please ignore this yellow area. It's aide-memoire. It's not helping the puzzle. It's helping me learn the sets. Actually, what I should have done is separated up the 2 sets in different colours. So one of these cages will contain a 1, 5, 9, a 3, 4, 8 and a 2, 6, 7. And the other will contain a 1, 6, 8, a 2, 4, 9 and a 3, 5, 7. Now, what I'm going to use is a bit of Sudoku if I possibly can. We've got a 7-9 pair there, so this can't be 7 or 9, it must be 6 or 8, going with an odd digit there. Now, I feel like these are likely to be all the even digits, but I don't have that actual information. That would leave both of these to be 5s. I think that's so likely, but just it's more symmetry driving me that way than logic. I don't know, if I abandoned this attempt at finding out what the outliers in blue and what the outliers in orange were earlier, when it was going to be really helpful, I apologise, but it didn't look to me like that was the most helpful thing to do. Maybe it is though. The extra grey cells will probably be 258 and 456. But that would mean that the extra blue cells were a set of 1 to 9, and I don't know if that's definitely right. I can't see why that's obvious. Oh, this is weird. I'm sure I'm just massively missing what's going on here. Okay, these digits are 7 and 9. So these two add up to either 8 or 6. Oh, I'm going to color. Okay, I'm going to get rid of blue and orange because I don't think they were helping. I'm even going to get rid of green because we can come back to those 11s later if we need to. And we can ignore this. Let's color 7s against 9s. So pink against green. That's a pair of different ones. That one is different from that one. This one we don't know yet. But this cage is going to need a pink one in somewhere. Oh, one of these digits is a 7 or 9. If it's there, it's green, but if it's there, it's pink. And this one feels likely to be pink as it completes the set in the rows, but actually it could be green as well at the moment. I mean, there is this to be considered as well, is that what I'm thinking about now is that the 11s must have both a 7 and a 9 on somewhere. I don't know, that's okay, that's not interesting. Where is the pink in this cage? It's not there, and it's not in those cells. It's not on the same line as the 7 or 9, because that would bust the line. I mean, that almost got really interesting, because that means the pink in this cage is in one of those 3 cells, and they all see that, which would have been very exciting if there was an excitement value in that not being pink, but it's already not pink, so that is not what is exciting there. Okay, this pair, if they added up to 6, they'd use the other digit from 1 or 2. These 3 digits must be the same as these 3, because if you take the set of the 9 Sudoku digits and subtract those 6, you're left with those 3 in the cage and those 3 in the box. So that digit has to appear in one of these 3, and it has to appear here, because it sees that cell and it's clearly not there. This is now a 1-2 pair. That's not a 2. None of these are 2, and that one's not a 1. Now I'm going to start colouring the 1-2s as well, orange and blue. That orange has to appear on this line somewhere, and it can't be there, there or there now. So it's got to be in one of those 2 cells. This digit is the same as that, but I have no idea what its size is, apart from that it's not 7, 9 or 1 or 2. Okay, what can 1 or 2 go with? I mean, there's a whole bunch of those, plenty of possibilities. Okay, I may start removing these aide-memoirs now, because they might be getting in the way, because I might have to start thinking about the blue 8 lines. But let's just remember that these extra lines are 258 and 456. That's probably going to matter. So bye-bye aide-memoir. What I was starting to wonder is, can I see where, because on these blue 8 lines, 1 and 2 must both appear. No, I don't have enough information about that yet. In this central box, the only possible positions for 1 and 3 are on the line, on the pinkish line, because these are selected from 2, 4, 5, 6, 8 from those groupings we found. So the 1 and the 3 on this long line must be in the central box, and these outsiders are not 1 or 3, they're from 2, 4 or 5. This digit is quite interesting in respect of the 8 lines. If it was a digit that has to go on an 8 line, the cell it would have to go in is there, because this digit sees all of those. However, it could be 4 or 8 here, in which case it doesn't go on an 8 line at all. Oh, hang on, this 8 line could be 4, 4. No, it can't, because you can't repeat along a digit on a line. No, okay, it can't be. So these blue lines are 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Now, I haven't really thought about this box, but it's difficult to get to grips with, I think. Maybe I could use the same principle that those 3 digits are the same as those 3. I feel like I haven't discovered as much as is available about 7s and 9s yet. So we couldn't put 7 and 9 there or there. There because, I'm looking at the pink 7, 9, can't be there by Sudoku or there. It can't be here because it would be a second 7 or 9 in the cage. Aha, so one of those is pink 7 or 9. I thought that was going to help with this, and it doesn't. It's still, again, the same colour. That this can't be pink 7 or 9, but that doesn't stop it being 6 or 8. Well, or green 7 or 9. So I'm just missing the point there badly. I long to know what this 7 or 9 is. I think it's pink, but I don't know that. If that was pink, then this couldn't be 7 or 9 because it would have to be pink, and it would also be on an orange line. So that would be green. And that would be getting quite interesting because green would have to go in one of these cells and would nearly be forced onto an 8 clue. No, I don't know. I'm clutching at straws a little bit at the moment. Now, 1 and 3 are on this line, along with 2, 4, or 5. So 6 and 8 must appear in these cells. Now, let's just remember what those extra 2 cages were. No, those extra 2 makeups in the aide-memoire. 2, 5, 8 and 4, 5, 6. Well, the 8 in this box is on one of those lines, and so is the 6. Definitely. So the ones outside the box are not 6 or 8. There is only 1 6 and 1 8 in these extras. So the ones outside the box definitely come from 4 or 5. Oh, if that one was a 5, I'd know that would be a 5, and that would be a 3, and these would be a 1, 2, 6, 7 set. Oh, that would be really exciting. Now we know that since the 6 digits that have to appear on these lines include 4, 5. Ah, no, hang on. I was about to say we know exactly what this set is because this is a 4, 5 pair, but this could be a 5, 5 pair. In which case this is 2, 4, 6, 8. This would be 1, 3, 5, and these would be a 2, 4 pair. So that's still possible. If those are a 4, 5 pair, these are 2, 5, 8, 6. These are 1, 3, 4, and then these ones are a 2, 5 pair. So they're either a 2, 5 or a 2, 4 pair. They definitely involve a 2. Yes. 2 must be on one of these lines, so it's not on this line in the central box. Ah, and there's an orange on one of those lines, and it's not a 2. Okay, is this conclusion sound? So let's just go back a bit. I decided that these are all different. Now, how did I decide this? 1 and 3 are on this line. 7 and 9 are there. So these must contain... Now, how did I decide that there was a 2 in these cells? Because that's now the important thing for me. I'm really losing thread of my thoughts in my head now. Oh, because I haven't marked it. Oh, that can't be 1 or 2. That's why. The outies can't be 1 or 2. So 2 is definitely on one of those cells on the grey lines in box 5. And there's only 1, 2. So that is, yeah, there is 1, 2. So one of those is a 2. Now these can't have a 2 on. So one of these is definitely a 2 on the pink line. And these, yeah, these are 4 or 5 because 6 and 8 in the box have to be there. And again, there's only one of them. That was fine. So these are from 4 and 5. They could both be 5s. Ah, here's why. No, they could both be 5s, and that would be a 5 in the center. I thought this was a huge deduction. Have I misled myself? 1 and 3. Yes, one of these is orange. Is that definitely right? That's the really interesting conclusion now. Yes, this line needs an orange cell on it. And that make it in one of those 2. And they can't be 2. So orange is 1. There we go. There is our breakthrough. After 20 minutes, it's such a clever puzzle. Those are 1s. This blue is a 2. Now, I feel this ought to help, but who knows? Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's just an early start and there's loads more to do. One of these digits is a 2. One of these is the orange 1 that appears on this pink line. I was about to go, where's 2 in this? Oh, where's 1? Oh yeah, 1 is there in this cage. No, that's uninteresting. Where is 2 in the cage? Not there. Also not on this line because it couldn't add up to 15. So 2's on one of these lines. Okay, let's go back to these cells. They definitely include a 5. They're either 2 5s or a 4 5 pair. If there were 2 5s, do we have a problem? The 5 on the central line would be here. The 5 on the 8 digits would be there. I can't see the problem. Maybe there isn't a problem. Okay, if that was a 9, it would need a 2 and then a 4 in this cage. That's what this would have to be. 9, 2, 4. These would add up to 14. Oh, hang on. If this is a 7, it can't go there because this would go 1, 7, 7. So if that pink is a 7, the 7 in box 1 goes here. That's quite interesting. I'd better aide-memoire these in case I start thinking of them as actual candidates. Oh, hang on. Well, one of these outside the box is a 5. Okay, so that's either going with 2-8 or 4-6 inside the box. Yes, I don't think that's telling me about what the other one is. That's so strange. Is there maths that tells me what it is? No, there isn't, because that rubs off onto the maths of this. I know that one of these 2 digits is a 2, so I do know that that cell is not a 2. And now no digit on this line can be a 2. Yes, on the pink line, one of those is a 2. Whichever one it is stops that being a 2. So this line doesn't have a 2 on. This line has a 2 on. And 2 digits that add up to 13. In which neither of these two could be 7 or 9. If it couldn't have a 7 or 9 in, it would be 2, 5, 8. That couldn't then be a 5, 8 pair, because this line couldn't be formed in that case. So that would have to be a 2. If this line was a 2, 5, 8. If, on the other hand, it's got a 7 or 9 on it, that digit is sitting here. Okay, these I'm going to pencil on. They're from 5, 6, 8, 9. These, do they have to have a 2 on? If that's a 7, they could add up to 8 and be a 3, 5 pair. Oh, it's so close to yielding now. I thought getting those 1s and 2s was going to do it. It really didn't. It really didn't do it, did it? Good grief. Blobs, you are a smart guy. Wow, if this was 3 or 5, we'd have a 3, 4, 5 triple going on here. I'm looking around for something else to, I mean, I can see that this can't have a 2 on it now, because that 2 sees both bits. So this is not a 2, 9, 11 cage. I mean, 11 line. I don't think that does anything. It's quite interesting, but it's not enough. Life gets much easier for the 8s if this is a 4. And then I would know what was going on. That would be a 5, 6 pair. This would be 8, 2, 5. I mean, it would all get a lot more straightforward. And it is annoying that these 2 grey lines that go into the centre could both have 5s sticking out. That's just a frustration. If they didn't, okay, I mean, this is probably a very minor conclusion, but I'm still going to make it. So either these are both 5s, in which case the 5 on this pink line has to be there, or only one of them is a 5. And in that case, the other one has a 5 on the grey line, which would have to be there. For this one, the 5 on the other grey line would have to be there. And this would be the 5 on the pink line. Now that must work in the other way around. If that was the 5 that was only one of them, that would be the 5 in the central box, and that would be the 5. Now in both cases, these digits can't be 5. That's what I was discovering there. It's quite a minor discovery, but this one is now down to 3 or 4 only. And if it was 4, these would be 2, 5, 6, 8. And that would be 4, and that would be 5. Haven't quite got through. Haven't quite got through. This line, let's go back to that. This has got a 2 on it. It's either, well, the trouble is, it's either 294 or 276, in which case the 9 or 7 would have to be the pink digit here. Or it's 258. I think there was one way for that to work as well. It would require this to be 5 or 8, which digit would also probably be there. And none of that gets me any closer to home. I don't know. I don't know what to think. I don't know what to do. That's more important. Oh, there's a 1 in one of these 2 cells. It can't be on that 11 line. That's really uninteresting, but it's been available for a long time. Okay, let's come down to this cage. That digit has to miss that cage in box 9 into one of these cells. If it's there or there, its counterpart 2 or 4 is in the other place on the 11 line. I don't know, that's not telling me anything, is it? This is so interesting. That was a lovely discovery about whichever one was... Oh, hang on. No, 5 doesn't have to be sticking out, because those could both be 5s with a 5 there. Well, let's see if something goes wrong with that somewhere. 5 on the blue 8 lines would have to be there. What else is that doing? That would mean one of these 3 cells was a 5 in box 1. One of these 2 in box 6. It's interesting. I mean, the 5 on a green 11 line is quite difficult to place. It's actually, I don't know, it's not hard enough to place, annoyingly. So that's an interesting investigation, but it is still possible for that to be a 5-5 pair. If one of them is a 4, though, if one of them is a 4, then there's a 5-6 pair in the box with a 2-8 pair. No, with, if one of them's a 4, the other outie is a 5. Yeah, that's got to be right. So it would be a 5-6 and a 2-8 in the box, and this would be 1-3-4. And these digits would in that case be a 2-5 pair. And this couldn't be 5 then. Is that even interesting in its own right? I just doubt it. Ah, oh, miles away. Maybe my original blooming thing was interesting when I was comparing boxes 1, 5 and 9 against the cages. I don't know. I don't think it was. I'm not going back to that. I need to find something else from where we are that takes us forward. I mean, I can see that this doesn't have a 2 on it. Isn't that useful? was about to say the 2 in column 6 is here, but that's not true because it could be there. It's not necessarily true because it could be there. This can't be green, sorry, this can't be green, and this can't be pink. I know these things, I know them. I just want to use them now. This can't be a 7 because it sees both colours of possible 7. But this still could be if it was green. And this could still be green, which would be incredibly annoying. Because I think it's probably pink. Oh, goodness me. Okay, if this was 5, this is where I was before, isn't it? That would be a 5. I mean, this is quite interesting. Oh no, I started with if they were both 5s. No, I'm not getting this. This one can't have, got it. We got the 2 onto this line. We kept it off this line. This line can't have a 1 or a 2 on, so it can't have a 9 there. Green is a 7. Well, that might make a little difference to what we're doing. 9 in pink. Unfortunately, that doesn't commit. It does mean one of these 2 is a 9. And that means this is not a 9 and this is not a 6. It's also not a 7 now by Sudoku. Oh, hang on. And that's not an 8, therefore. This is a 9, because we know what pink is. These 2 include a 1 or a 2 on. I mean, I don't know that that counts for anything at the moment. This pair adds up to 8, and it's not 7, 1. And it doesn't have a 2 on. So it's not 2, 6. So it is 3, 5. This pair is now not 5, 9. It's 6, 8. And this group of digits, 1, 6, 8, 3, 5, 7, do have a 9 in, and are 2, 4 apart from that. So that's a 9, and it goes coloured, and this is not a 9. Okay, well that's a relief. Now this digit is 2 or 4, same as that one. There's a 9 in one of those 2 cells. Again with the 9 down here. This pair adds up to 6. Now, hang on, we've used 9, 2, 4. So it's a 9, 1, 5. Yes, we've used these combinations, haven't we? We've used 1, 6, 8. And we've used 1, 5, 9. Okay, that's not interesting. We've used 5, 3, 7. And we've used 5, 1, 9, but we knew these were going to use 2, 5, 8 and 4, 5, 6, so that's not interesting. But we do know what the 3 makeups down here are, if I can just remember what the alternatives are. We've used 2, 4, 9 here, we're going to use 2, 5, 8 here. One of these is 2, 6, 7. I'm just going to aid memoir these, and the other one is 3, 4, 8, and they are these 2 lines. Let's orange and light blue them. These pairs are a 2, 6, 7 and a 3, 4, 8. Now this, I was going to say this digit isn't 4 or 5, but all we know is it isn't 5. Goodness me, this is getting into my head now. 7. Oh look, there's a 2, 4, 5 triple, so that's a 3. Well, that's good. I like a bit of Sudoku suddenly. And these are from 6, 8, 9 in this row. Yeah, they are. So this is now 5, 3 or 2 to make up the 11 line. Well, that's getting interesting. It would be nice to port the information we've learned over to the other lines. I was hoping to do it with the 8 lines, but we haven't got very close to those yet. Sorry, I have to take this slow because I just can't work out what's going on. I'm nearly ruling 5, 6 out of that as a possibility. 4, 7 is not available there. That's interesting. If this was 4, 7, that digit would be a 6. Oh, where's the 9 in this box? It's in one of those cells. If it was on a green line, it would be with a 2. If it was here, it wouldn't. Oh, goodness. I mean, it looks like getting that 1, 5 pair was of no value at the moment at all, but maybe I'm being churlish. 2, 4 pair, both looking at those cells. Goodness, I still don't know what I'm doing, do I? Have these 2, 4, 5s not got any more certainty at all? Well, for this to be a 4, that would be a 2, that would be a 5. Then its line would have 5, 6 here. Oh, hang on, if that's a 4, that's a 2, that's a 4. So we've got 4s then in those places. Then we've got to have a 4 on this pink line in one of those 2. Then we're not going to get a 4 on the other grey line at all. This would be a 5 down here. That would be a 2. And this would be a 5. I can't work out what this does, but it might be important. It honestly might. This is such a clever setup. I really am determined to keep going until we crack it, but it really isn't easy either. I'm sort of wondering about 9 in column 4, which seems to have to be in one of those end positions. And then 9 in column 5 is either in one of those 2 or there. Okay, either way round, there must be a 9 in one of these 2 cells. Yes, if I just look at where is 9 in this box, it's in one of those 2. It's not on the bottom. And that means there's a lot of places where 9 is not in the bottom row, and I can put 2 more 9s into cells, including on a green line where I can complete with a 2. Now I can say this one is not a 9-2 pair. And that 2, can we look at where that goes in the cage? Not quite. It doesn't quite not go in this orange line. I don't know why I've chosen orange for that line when I've got other colours like dark green available. That's better. But 2 could still just go. What is it? 2, 6, 7. If that was a 2, that would be a 6, 7 pair. Both of those would be looking at that. In fact, 9 is looking at this cell. Yes. 7, 8, This one must be the 691. Come on, this might do something now. Come on, that's a 6. That's a 5. So we've had 2, 9 and 6, 5 on the green lines. We've got a 3, 8 and a 4, 7 still to go. This is an 8 because it sees 6 and 9. Wow, that turned out not to be a 9 in the end. That's really interesting and surprising. 7 is in one of those cells. 7 has to be on one of these blue lines somewhere. It's almost time to remove these, but it's so useful to know what they might consist of that I'm still reluctant to take out this aide memoire section. I could recolor it, couldn't I, to the correct shades. Now, that digit must, because these 3 must appear in those 3, this one now must appear there. And these 2 cells, therefore, do add up to 11 in their own right. If they were 3, 8, this would be the 3, 5 line. These cells would all contain 3, 8, 1, 7, 2, 6. If they were 4, 7, that digit would be a 5. Oh, this is a 3, 4, 7, 8 quad, isn't it? Is that interesting? No. No, it's not. But there's an 8 there and an 8 there. One of these 2 cells is an 8. If it's on this line, what is this line then? A 3, 4, 8 line. Oh, this line cannot be a 2, 6, 7 line, because that digit would have to be a 7, and this one can't be 2 or 6. So this line is the 2, 6, 7 line. Thank you, Mr. Aide Memoire. You've done the job there. Absolutely done the job. So that's the 2, 7, 6 line. This blue one is the 3, 4, 8. I don't know the order of the digits on it, but never mind about that. Oh, I've got an 8 there. Now, 2, 7, 6. Let's get rid of the colour, in fact. In fact, let's get rid of the 9's colour and the 7's colour and everything, and even the 1's and 2's, because I just don't think they're doing anything. I've just got this aide memoire left. I haven't sorted that out yet. I know that. But in this box, that can't be 7 anymore, so that's not 4. Now, this is a 3, 4, 8 line. How could this possibly be a 3, 8 green line? That would be 4. Maybe it would hold together. That's incredibly annoying. But this is a 3, 4, 8. This is where 6 goes in the box. That couldn't be more obvious. Now 6 in this box. I don't know where it goes, but I do know it's in the box, in one of those cells, on a blue line with a 2. And that 2 can't, according to this 2, be in those cells. So the 2 is in one of those cells, and now the 6 can't be here. The 6 is definitely now in one of these 2, which is quite exciting, because that means there's a 6 in one of those 2. And 2 is in one of these positions, and they're still not resolved. 9 is in one of those 2. These are from 1, 3, 4 by elimination. In fact, so are these 2. 9, 5, 2, 6. That 6 has fixed this, and I just hadn't noticed. This is now not an 8, and that hasn't been for ages, and that's not a 3. In fact, we've put 8 in one of those 2 cells, so that was pretty straightforward. 8, 5, 7, 6, 2. So what else haven't I noticed? This column feels like there's a lot of pencil marking in. But none of it to bad purpose particularly. Okay, I don't know, but I think we're on track. Now that can't be a 2 anymore. And I think that means this can't be an 8, which might be worth marking. It does. I'm still looking at these aide memoire totals for this line. This also can't be a 6 by Sudoku. 9, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. Oh, I don't know what the implications down here are. The pencil mark in this column is so fulsome. It ought to be giving me something, and I can't quite see what it's doing. This 3, 4, 8 line, come on, just use that like a sensible man. But I don't know how to. That's so strange. Right, 6, 2 was on one of these, so it's not that line. So there's no 6 there. That's a 6, definitely. Now there's a 6 definitely there. Now this is a 6. Now that might do something. This is the 6, 5, 4 line. This is not the 6, 5, 4 line. This is the 2, 5, 8 line. And that's where the 2 goes. And that's where the 8 goes. And this is a 5. And that makes this a 4. And that makes this a 5. Right. Bye-bye, Aide Memoir. Thank you for helping. Now, that's become a 5. Let's look at this pink line. In the central box, it doesn't have a 4. It's 1, 3, 5, and we know the order now. Oh, I left some colour in there, didn't I? That's pointless. These are a 2, 4 pair on the outside. Are they done? I can't see it. 6, 5, 1, 2, 9. This is a great puzzle, by the way. 2, 1, 4, 3, 7, 5. So we need 6 in this column. That's got to be here. That's going to go with 2 on the line. Then we've got a 9, 8 pair still to place in the column. But we've also got these lines which are going to contain 1, 7 and 3, 5. This digit is 3 or 7, going with, well, it can't be 3, 5 here because of that, can it? So that's 7, that's 1, this is 3, that's 5. That's not 3 now. In this row, I've done the 1 and therefore the 5. That's now 4, and on its line we get 2, and that finishes the box 1 and the top cage. Now that's an 8. That places 8 in this box there. That's on a line with a 3. That sorts out the 4, 3 in turn. Oh my goodness, this was a 3, 8 line. But this is now a 4, 7 green line. And I think all our lines are now complete. Is that right? Pretty sure they are. And now I think we are finishing, unsurprisingly, the puzzle. Once the lines are complete, there's not a lot else left. That's a 1, 4 pair. We get a 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the spot. Light proving its position. That's a 9, and this is a 1, and that's a 4, and the final 6 columns are all done. Zos. 7 and 8 there, 1, 2, 5 down here, 1 box to go, 4, and it feels like magic that we can get to the end of an odyssey like this, and it's going to say we're right. So let's just get rid of that colouring and see if it does say we're right. Yes. Brilliant blobs, oblique, unique, and absolutely sleek as well. Brilliant composition. Thank you for setting it, and we hope to see you guys again soon on the channel. We hope to see blobs on the channel as well soon. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.